And good evening, everybody. Welcome to my live show. We're going to do a sound check right off the bat here because last week I had issues with my sound, so I'm rechecking my mic and it looks good. So just let me know if I'm coming through and sounding good and clear. I hear it on my iPad, so I'm going to take this other mic out. That's distracting. So, anyways, welcome to the show. Thank you, Krista, for the sound confirmation. I'll tell you what, I'm still enjoying myself. I can't believe it's another week, another live show already. So number 3 kicking off here. And this is going to be a good show too, I'm hoping. I really enjoyed last week's show with Craig Woods from Craig's Corner. I thought it was a great show. He's a great model builder and a great talker. So, I think he helped carry my show pretty well. So thanks again, Craig. But I did notice my audio was messed up. His was loud and clear. My music was all good. But for some reason, this fancy dancy little microphone that I bought just for that last live stream in time switched to the camera's microphone over here. That's why I sounded like I was talking out of a tin can. So I'm a little paranoid that something's going to happen there. So feel free, if the sound goes bad or anything, let me know in the comments. And maybe let me know a couple times because, these comments do roll by. And as I'm talking, it's difficult to read everyone. So also when you are commenting, please, don't think I'm blowing you off or ignoring you. It's just I happen to catch a comment here and there, and I'll either react to it or I'll put it on screen. But if I miss your comment, I do apologize. I usually catch them in the replay when I check to see how well the replay came. And it's like, oh man, I didn't know he was there or said something. So anyways, so let's see who's joining the room. I see my buddy Kevin Smith is already on board. John is here. John, I am really working on the closed caption, and I trim my mustache. So hopefully you can read my lips. And I'll try to look at the camera as much as I can, buddy. But I'll get that closed caption working one of these days, I promise. We'll figure it out. Okay, who else we got here? Modelworks, hello. Krista is here. Slugo's here. Kenny's here. Steven. TJ. Pops Models. So hi, Mike. Okay, well, anyways, I'm not going to go through all those, so I apologize if I just missed you here, but I see them all coming through. I really appreciate you all joining in. And speaking of live shows, I've been experimenting the last week or so, and I did some impromptu live presentations, and I just had the camera on my workbench while I was working on my 1960 Ford Starliner. I got bored. I'm down here just working away on my model kit, and well, I enjoy that. I mean, I do enjoy that time of doing that. But I got to thinking, I'm going to just go live. And I'm surprised how many of you guys have been joining me on those, just watching me sand or grind on a model. But it's fun. I actually like that too. Like one of my favorite shows is Sundays with Jason of Blue Ox and his group build, or not group build, but it's a Sunday build podcast. And, there's just 5 guys building models. If you haven't seen them, you got to tune in on that. That's a good podcast every Sunday afternoon. But, I like to come down here to my hobby area and be building while that show's going on, and it entertains me. So anyways, thank you guys. I keep trying to try new things without screwing up what I did successfully because y'all joined and liked my channel for one thing, and I don't want to ruin that, but I do like to experiment. So, adding the green screen stuff and now live streams and whatnot. So I'm just having fun doing it. So anyways, thank you very much. Okay. And as far as comments go, guys, I'll try to glance at those throughout my broadcast, but as I'm working and talking, I'm one of those guys that can't walk and chew gum at the same time. So I will do my very best to try to watch those, and I won't be responding to everybody right off the bat. What I'll try to do is occasionally display your comment in the highlighted section here below, just to show that I've acknowledged it and maybe share that comment highlighted with everybody else. But later in the show, that's when I'm going to bring up like a question and answer part. And I see a commercial playing here. on the live stream. I apologize for that. I thought I turned that off. So I do apologize. Click that away as soon as you can. Almost lost my train of thought with that. Okay, so yeah, anyways, we'll talk about the comments a little bit later in the show. That's where I'll acknowledge you. And I have a topic that I want to talk about tonight, and it's going to be about YouTube influencers and how they influence the hobby. And I got a couple key talking points that I think would be interesting to talk about and share. And I'm going to wait till I bring on my guest to talk about that a little further. And speaking of guests, my guest tonight is Jim Green from Papa's Model Workshop of YouTube fame. Papa's got a really, really good channel, and I'll have a link to his channel in the description. And for those of you that are joining me for the first time just to see Papa, I really appreciate you coming on board, and I think it's going to be a good show. I want to talk about a couple shows coming up too. So next week, I'm going to have Bryce Tempany of Model Makers Workshop, and he is my sponsor for 3D aftermarket parts. And I thought that would be a good show, because he prints that stuff, so he could probably talk a little bit about printing. He's knowledgeable about building. He has his own YouTube channel as well and a Facebook channel. So all around, I think it's going to be an interesting guest, and he'll be able to also tell us about his latest additions, because he's adding stuff to his store all the time. In fact, while I'm here, let me just pay homage to my two sponsors. Bear with me just a second here. Okay, once again, there we go. I really wish I had a producer to help me with all this. So anyways, here is the, I'm going to turn the comments off the stage for a second. So this is the Model Makers Workshop sponsor, and in my description, I have a link to their store. And if you use the code MBIR10, you'll save 10% on their wares. In addition to that, Gallery is also my sponsor. So once again, in the description, I'll have a link to their store, and you get 10% off of whatever their sale prices are. So you just use the code ModelBuildingKen, but if you hit that link, it automatically takes you there, and I think it automatically loads up that that code for you. So okay, enough for the sponsors. Bad enough that I've got commercials playing in the background too. I'm not going to fix that right now because I'd have to go to YouTube to do it, and I'm not on YouTube. I'm actually on a StreamYard, which is a different software. So, okay, then after next week's show, I'm going to have Joe from Joe's New Rust Shop right here from Youngstown, Ohio. And Joe's got his own YouTube channel too, and he builds very, very cool rust and weathered cars and trucks and whatnot. So he's going to be a cool show. And the cool thing there is we're going to do something a little bit different. Instead of having a remote guest on screen, Joe's very close to my home here, so we're going to be in studio together. And I think that'll be kind of a nice little twist too. We'll be able to just sit there and talk, and I think he's going to bring some stuff of his builds to discuss. So some good shows coming up. Another good show coming up too in February, because we're already going to be heading into February, is I'm going to have Mikey from Chester's Models and his pop, Mike Sr. And what I think is really unique there is I met these two gentlemen in Detroit at the auto show this year, and they came up and approached me because they had seen my channel, and I appreciate that, and they subscribe and whatnot. But I thought that would be an interesting show because, first of all, Mikey's about the youngest builder that I know. I think he's in his 20s. And then his pop, or Mike Sr., he goes by Pop, he builds too. So I think it's cool that a father and son are building together. So between a young guy and a father and son team, I think that's going to make a really good show. And I haven't heard from the ladies yet, but I really would like to piece together a show with the ladies of model building. So, hit me up at my email, modelbuildinginretirement@gmail.com, if you'd like to be a guest on the show. And can't be camera shy, ladies. Me and all my guests, we're not exactly good-looking people, but we're not afraid to go on camera, so you can't be either. Alrighty, what else we got here? Okay, So we talked about our upcoming guests. We talked about tonight's guests. Couple upcoming videos for my channel. I've started one already. It was the part one of a multi-series build on my 1960 Ford Starliner. So I'll be continuing with that build as well. That one is going to be lengthy because I'm doing extensive 3D parts on there. So I don't know, it may be 3 parts or so, and each part is probably 45 minutes or so. I know I'm known for long videos. And I keep trying to short them, and it's so hard. But, you know, a lot of people do appreciate that I take the time to go into detail. So, you know, what are you going to do? But, you know, if my videos are too long, guys, you know, you can just save them to watch later. It's an option you have on YouTube. And that's what I do. You know, I do find some things like, oh, I don't have time to watch this, but it looks interesting. I'll put it in my watch later category, and I can watch it in 2 or 3 sessions. So, you know, and it usually picks up where you left off if you have to leave it. So, audio still good, everybody? I forgot to get you guys projected back on the screen here too. Apologize for that. I know that helps a lot. Okay, so I said I would highlight interesting comments as they come up. Well, I like this guy here, huh? Tim, thank you, Tim. I really appreciate that. Okay. Audio is still good. Thank you, guys. I'm getting paranoid about that. I don't want to go a whole hour and so with it just not sounding right. So, all right, what else do I got here? Okay, so besides the 60 Starliner series, another one that's coming up is when your YouTube channel becomes a business. I thought that would be a good topic because last year mine became a business. It started out as a hobby, but once you get 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours, you're eligible for ad revenue. And I was like eligible for that on my second week. Caught me by surprise for sure. But, so I've been earning, and that means in the eyes of Uncle Sam, my dear Uncle Sam, that calls me a self-employed business. So 1099. So I thought it would be a good video that talks about when your YouTube channel becomes a business, because once you're having to pay the taxes, and the taxes are a whole lot different than just normal income, because you are paying self-employment tax. It means you got to pay twice your FICA amount and whatnot. But then there's all kinds of fun stuff that you do if you're running a small business, like, for example, mine. And I don't want to talk about too much, or I won't have much on that episode to talk about, but it's trying to be different from your competitors or fellow creators, trying to come up with unique and fun things and just kind of do something that sets yourself apart. So, I'm trying to do that. So that's an upcoming video. I'll be working on that one. Probably going to wait till I get my taxes done, which I'm going to do myself. Taking a leap there. But I think that'll help, is I'll have all the forms ready and stuff, so I'll be able to talk a little bit more about, the taxation part of it too. So, and not to mention sponsors and income from affiliate links. There's all kinds of different stuff that comes into play. So I think it'll be a fun show. All right, next up. Bench update. Okay, so did a couple things here. Let me bring up a couple pictures up here. If you remember, I did that Mustang build, my 77 Mustang, and when I built that, I was using some 15-inch wheels with 5-lug bolt pattern, but the car actually had 13-inch wheels and 4-bolt pattern. Yeah, folks, it's not a race car. But a lot of you reached out and told me that the Pinto kit from AMT had that. So I went on to YouTube and I picked them up and I painted them up and installed them on the car here. So this is it with the 4-bolt. Nope, that's the picture of the 5 bolts. Stand by. That's now updated with the smaller tires and wheels now. So I think it fits a little bit better. So that's one of the things on the bench update. The other part that I wanted to talk about, let me get the slides up here. bear with me, folks. Thank you, Ariel. I'm trying to get your comments up there and glance at them once in a while. All right. So, anyways, I apologize for me getting distracted. But another thing, not quite from my bench, but I wanted to bring it up, is my dear friend Kevin Smith keeps gifting me. And he gave me that 68 Firebird that you see in my garage there when he sent me the kit to build his Galaxy. And I really appreciated that. I did not want anything like that. I didn't ask for anything. I just wanted to do it out of friendship and just enjoy doing something for a fellow modeler. But, you know, he insisted on sending that to me. So when I opened that box, I was blown away to see that model kit. Well, he doesn't think he repaid me enough, folks, and that's ridiculous. Kevin, you got to stop it, because he sent me now this duster, and it is a beautiful build. I'll show you a couple of slides here. Look at that duster. Those are hand masked and painted stripes. They're not decals. It's a beautiful build. His work is just amazing. If you look right behind the wheels there's a mud flap. Those are stainless steel mud flaps on there. His attention to detail is just incredible. Paint finish, fit and finish is always superb with his stuff. Just a beautiful build. Anyways, Kevin, stop it. And I think we came to an agreement here. Kevin is a master builder, and I think he's going to start building again too, folks, which is really exciting. But I asked him, hey, if you feel a need to repay me, you could be my mentor. You know, let me lean on you when I need advice. And trust me, folks, I need advice just like any other model builder does. So thanks again, Kevin. Stop sending me stuff. I appreciate it. Besides that, your display case is going to get empty. So, okay, so on to my bench. I'm working on that Starliner, and I'm doing a couple things. If you recall, the way that car sat, it sat really high on the wheels because I'm putting 24-inch wheels on the back and 22s on the front. But I'm also prepping the body. So this is just an example here where I'm going to do bare metal foil under the paint. So I bare metal foiled where the script is on the car, and throughout that paint process, I'll be re-exposing those letters. And when I'm all said and done with it, it should look really nice. It should look like an emblem. And I'll be switching to my bench camera here in just a moment, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about there. I had to get those wheels tucked way up under the car, so I had to cut away the wheel wells that existed, and I had to fabricate my own. So in this picture, you're seeing my fabricated new tubs under my engine compartment. So I'm going to be painting that up really nice. I am getting rid of that coolant reservoir there because that's old school. That's the way the car came, but this is going to be a resto mod where, you know, a modern car wouldn't still have that. So I'll be getting rid of that. But what I had to do, I used my Dremel tool and various cutters and grinders, and I cut away there. But this is what I got. I got the stance sitting just right on that car now, so I think it sits really nice. Okay, so let me switch cameras here, and I'll show you what it looks like today because I have worked on it, and I have some updates there. So let me switch cameras real quick. Okay, so I primed the car yesterday with my Kaleido black primer. And I also do believe in telling you when I make a mistake or when things did not work really well. And in this particular case, when I sprayed that primer, it had, you know, in my opinion, too much orange peel. Like if you look at this spoon here, I get the spoon on the camera here. When I first sprayed that spoon, I thought, well, hey, that's spraying really nice. But if you notice, there's orange peel on there. It's not bad, folks. It's not bad. But I like my primer to lay on so nice that I don't even have to sand it, because even though you can sand and prep a body, the less you have to do, the better for your finished paint job. And many a times, and most times when I prime a car, I don't do anything other than keeping it clean and going to paint afterwards. And that'll give you your best body work. But in this case, I had to do some extensive sanding. Let me move my camera around here a little bit. So I'm sanding it down. I'm probably going to reshoot the primer. And it's my own darn fault because I got so anxious I wanted to spray this car. In fact, here's that orange peel. Here's the hood. See, it's not horrible, but it shouldn't have any. But I got so anxious that I wanted to spray the car. But I was spraying everything else too. I was spraying the chassis and the under tub, all that stuff, engine compartment. So what I should have done is sprayed all that stuff first, because I would have seen better that I had a little bit of a paint finish thing happening with the orange peel, and I could have adjusted. And what it took here is I just had to increase my pressure by 5 pounds. I was shooting out of a 0.3 needle at about 20 pounds. I bumped it up to 25 and it sprayed beautiful. And I probably should have used the 0.5. All right, with that being said, I'm sanding it all down nice and smooth, but check out that stance. I think that's going to be sweet. Engine compartment's going to look pretty good. Got some more work to do in there yet. But that's the update on the bench. Try not to get you all dizzy here with my camera work. Okay, switch back to my main camera. Okay, I'm just going to glance at the comments real quick here. Krista asked me, is this the car you were grinding the wheel wells? Yes, actually, yes, yeah. And I use a Dremel with a grinding wheel on it and some other tools. What I found though is, bear with me here, got to get that back off the screen. I apologize, folks, trying to navigate everything. If you run the Dremel low enough speed, you won't melt the plastic, but you're kind of dangerously close to melting. So what I do is I cut well away from where I want my finished area to be, and then I will file and sand myself down to my finished specs, but it helps a lot. And then have some nice saw blades, and that'll help you too, which in fact I need to buy some. Okay, so got the bench update out of the way. I think I would like to introduce my guest. I think that's time to get my guest on here. So, folks, without further ado, let me just get to my cool stuff here, because I have a little intro prepared. And what we're going to do is we're going to bring on my friend Jim Green from Papa's Model Shop, or Model Workshop, and he will be on right after this intro. Now let's welcome Jim Green, better known as Papa, from Papa's Model Workshop.
Hello, Ken.
Hello, Jim. How you doing?
I'm doing real good. It's my pleasure to be here.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad you came on the show. I really appreciate it. I'm a big fan of your channel, and we've gotten to know each other through our channels. We haven't met in person yet, but I feel like I know you pretty well. Hey, by the way, before I forget, happy belated birthday to you.
Well, thank you so much.
I meant to tell you that last Saturday when we rehearsed, but it just skipped my mind because we were getting into the technical stuff. But yeah, happy birthday to you. So you're officially a senior citizen now?
Yes, I am. 65. I'm an old guy now. So.
You look good for 65. I got you beat.
Thank you very much. You look pretty good too. So
I got you beat by a year. I'm 66 and counting.
All right.
Alrighty. And another thing, before we get into any other questions and stuff, I just want to thank you so much, because I don't think anybody, including myself, has promoted my channel as well as you have. I really appreciate it. You've mentioned me on so many occasions, and it just means a lot to me. I really appreciate that. And folks, too, another thing that I got to share about Jim, or Papa. What do you prefer, Papa or Jim?
Oh, whichever you're more comfortable
Okay.
addressing. I've been called
Okay.
worse. Let's put it that way.
I don't know. If I was in my 20s, I'd be calling you Papa, but I'll call you Jim. Anyways, folks, Jim was building a 1956 Chevy kit a while back, and I had just commented on his channel that I wish I would have picked up that kit when I saw it because kits come and go locally from your stores, and I had noticed that one just wasn't around. I mean, yes, you can still get it, but it wasn't around my normal stomping grounds. He texted me and said, I think I know where one can be. And the very next morning, he's emailing me saying, I got one on the way to you. Uh, so this guy went out, bought a kit, packaged it up, paid all that shipping costs because we know shipping is not cheap anymore, sends this to me, refused any compensation. So really appreciate that, Jim. It was amazing, and you didn't have to do that, but it just proves what this community is all about. And
Well,
you are
that's my
a
pleasure.
stellar representation of that community. So
Well, I think that, I'm not unique in that regard. I know that a lot of content creators, do that sort of thing. And, I knew where I could find the kits, so I just really uh, thought it would be very easy to send it on to you. So I'm glad that you got it.
thank you very much. It meant a lot to me, and I finally did get that build, and it came out nice, and I got a video on that. Too, so if you look back on my channel, you'll see that. And we'll have to compare. Actually, I think when I show your builds, I had a picture of mine snuck in there too, because I was going to thank you during the slideshow. But anyways, a couple questions for you. I know that you got grandkids around, so I don't know if it's one or more, but the name Papa's Model Workshop. How did you pick your name?
Well, that actually came from my grandchildren. I've always been Papa. My oldest grandchild is Adam. He just turned 8 this past week. And, when I began the YouTube a little over a year ago, it just kind of fit together. But the name Papa came from my grandchildren.
Good, good. I figured it had to have been something like that, but yeah. Well, I love your channel because there's three things that really stand out to me. First of all, maybe it's four. First of all, it's just your personality. You come across very friendly and easygoing, so you're fun to watch, and you're a good speaker, good on
No, I
camera.
appreciate that. Thank you.
You bet. One of the things I really like is the way you answer your viewers' questions on screen. So when you did a build or did a video and people commented to you, I typically just respond to them in the comments for that particular video. But I notice you take, some of the key comments and we'll address it on your next show. And I think that's a very personal touch. And I think it really helps show the viewers how engaged you are with them. So I think that's really cool.
Well, excuse me. I try and keep a mindset of the questions that I had when I first got back into the hobby. A lot of things that we sort of take for granted. A brand new builder or somebody who has actually not crossed the line and gotten involved with the hobby yet, but maybe they're thinking about getting into it. And I try to address some of those very basic questions that somebody like you or I would take for granted. Uh, I watched one gentleman, Don Yost. He was sort of my online mentor, if you will. And I remember watching him talk about sanding and so forth, and he would come on and say, well, you need to take a little bit of 320 and go up to 800 and 1200. And, for somebody like you or I watching that, you would know exactly what, he was talking about. Um, but for me in the beginning, I would sit there and I would go, what the heck is he talking about? What does 320 mean? So I try to keep that mindset and explain things to new people because it's not always, basic things that people are going to be aware of.
Yeah, well, it's a good approach. I really like that, and I think your fans do too. And I notice your subscription rate's going up there. You broke over 1,000. Congratulations. I
Oh,
think
well,
you
thanks.
deserve a lot more. So let's hope you start skyrocketing because you deserve it.
Yeah, it's coming along slowly. So, we're building.
Yeah, it'll come along. I don't know. Hopefully the show will give you a little boost too. But I don't know how many people we got watching. Let me see if I can look here real quick. We got 75 people right now.
Right. Got a little gathering going on.
That's a good number. That's a good
Yeah,
number, and
yeah.
lots of activity on the chats here. So again, folks, I'll try to get to that. So a couple of the normal questions. When did you first get into model building? And did you ever have a break, or have you like continuously been building throughout your life? Or
Well, I guess it's a two-part story, and it's very similar, I think, to a lot of the model builders out there. I built when I was younger, probably getting involved with the hobby for the very first time around 11, 12 years old, up until the age of about maybe 17 or 18. You get to that point in your life and you get your driver's license. You discover that there's a world beyond your bedroom. You discover girls and so forth. And, the things that you kind of did as a hobby in your home get kind of pushed aside. So I came back to the hobby probably right around 2018, I'm going to guess.
okay,
And, I started out very small in a little small corner of the basement because I didn't know if I was going to stick with it or not. I didn't know if I still had the passion for it. And actually, my first here it is. Yeah, I brought it down. This was my very first build when I came back in 2018. And we
hang
got
on.
lost there.
No, I'm working on getting you a full screen. Stand by here.
Okay. There we go. That's my first build in 2018. And I did that build and I loved it. I fell in love with the hobby, and I've eventually expanded into the larger area of the basement where I am now, and I can't get enough of it. I love it.
Great. And then what possessed you to start a YouTube channel, and when did you start that?
Well, I started the YouTube channel, I guess, a little over a year ago, not this past September, but a September of a year ago. And the story behind that's a little hokey. I My first go around when I was a teenager, um, I had a friend, my next door neighbor. His name was Jody Riley, and Jody used to come over on the weekends sometimes, and I would set up a great big folding table in the garage, and we would build models all weekend long. And I remember the two of us, I would bring down my 13-inch black and white Zenith TV, and I would set it up in the garage, and I would put a big bowl of potato chips between us, and we would sit and talk about models and just build all weekend long. So the hokey part is, in 2018, when I came back, I actually had a very vivid dream about that. And I couldn't get it out of my mind. And then that put the thought in my mind to, gee, go out and buy a model and try it again. And I missed the aspect of sitting and talking with my friend Jody. So I thought, well, maybe I'll do a YouTube channel and I'll talk to the camera. So that's kind of what got it started.
Okay. Kind of similar to me. Mine was to communicate to family and friends a little bit, and then it took off. And since it took off, it is like family,
Yeah.
Like I'm sitting down here in my basement, just talking my head off, and my wife, she's not into the model building or anything. I think she's proud that I've got a channel and growing a following, but she'll oftentimes like be doing laundry or something, and she'll think I'm talking to myself because I'm
Yeah.
filming
Yeah.
something. Well, it's a very interesting story. So, I think I know the answer to this as to what your favorite is, but I'm not sure why. Oftentimes you say it. So, what is your favorite model car era and why?
Oh, well, I think I would have to say the old classics. The cars from way back, 20s and 30s, the really old. In fact, as a matter of fact, this is what I'm working on right now. This is a 1934 Duesenberg. It's a work in progress, so it's still a little bit of a mess, but these are the types that I think I like the best. And I guess the reason is they're just such grand old cars, the kind of a thing where you're walking down the street and you see something like that coming towards you, you stop and you look at it and admire it. So those, I think, are my favorites.
Okay. Yeah, everybody's got their era. Mine is 60s and 70s muscle cars. I haven't built too many old stuff. I think 32 is the oldest vintage so far, but I
Yeah.
did notice. I had to ask you what your fascination was with them because I mean they're beautiful. There's no doubt about it. They're beautiful. The old
Oh,
cars.
I like the muscle cars too. I've got a whole section of muscle cars back there. I did a Corvette, a 71 Corvette recently. I don't think there's any particular era that I would say that I don't like. Well, actually, I don't really like the newer cars that much. I don't build the newer, more modern cars too. Although I did just recently do a Ford GT. That thing looks like it's from Lost in Space or something. But yeah, I prefer the older things, I think.
Good. I apologize. I'm listening to you, but I'm trying to like highlight comments as they go by. But they go by so quick that sometimes I click on it and the
Yeah,
wrong
yeah.
comment pops up. Oh, look
Well,
at
you're
this
kind of in
one.
mission control there, so I know you're trying to do a couple of things at once.
And it took me a while here. This post that I have, a comment that's on the screen right now, is Fred Henry. And Fred Henry is also on the podcast with James Tester and James Duff and whatnot.
Yeah, I've seen him. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
a fan of his work.
A master builder, so am I. But it took me a while to get familiar with your handle. So, Fred, I'm sorry that I just didn't catch on who you are. But I consider this a compliment that you guys are giving me the title of a Friday night hangout. So, I appreciate that. Okay, let's see what I got for your next question. Do you build strictly box stock, or do you get into modifications at all?
I'm going to use a phrase that Jason Hanscom coined from Blue Ox Model Shop. He characterized himself as a box stock plus builder. And I thought, gee, that's a great phrase. I'm going to steal it because that really fits the type of model builder I am. I'll put in plug wires. I'll sometimes put on different wheels and so forth. I've ordered the 3D, parts for like wheels and so forth, and maybe a different steering wheel. I don't really get into the aspect of, chopping and opening up the doors and so forth. At least not yet. It's something that I'm kind of intrigued with that I may attempt in the future, but as of right now, I haven't gone that far.
Okay. Great. I don't know. I keep evolving, especially since I have a sponsor with 3D stuff. But I don't know. I'm not having as much fun right now. I think they're getting kind of complex, and,
Yeah.
and there's nothing wrong with testing your mind. But if you just want to go and do thoughtless, fun model building, they get a little more challenging the harder you try. And sometimes it takes the fun away. I'm trying to alternate maybe where I'll do one that's really customized and the next one kind of go back to easy or box stock.
Yeah.
I won't say easy because we all know that even doing a nice box stock is not easy if you want to do it right. So
Well, your comfort zone, I think, right?
that's probably what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Your niche, you get back into your niche and you're comfortable even when you run into the occasional hurdles and so forth, because you're in your niche. It's not so intimidating, At least that's the way I think of it.
Right. Excuse me. I think you kind of answered some of this question here because I was going to ask you, where did you learn your skills from, if you had a mentor or self-taught, but you did kind of mention that you turned to YouTube, which I did too.
Yeah, when I my first go around as a teenager in the 70s, you didn't have the resources that you have now. Back then, model building was a kit, a tube of tester's glue. You got the package of tester's paints. It came maybe 6 or 8 little bottles in a package, and that was model building. That was it. I didn't even have a pair of tweezers back then. So now it's just exploded into something that I could have never imagined back in the 70s when I was building the first time around. The advent of the internet and social media, and even what we're doing right now. I mean, you could not have imagined any of that. And I mentioned Don Yost was one of my online. I never knew him. I never communicated with him, but I watched him a lot and learned a lot. Uh, Barbatos Rex, I learned a lot of techniques from perspective of airbrush and paints and so forth by watching him. And there's just a lot that I could sit here and go down the line where I've learned different things from different content creators. So it's a remarkable time for this hobby. It really is.
It is. And rest in peace, Don Yost. I still watch your videos. He's still up.
Yeah.
I don't know who's running that channel for him, but he's still up and available.
Oh
So
yeah.
Don, even up there, you're helping us.
Yeah, no, I rewatch his videos often. As a matter of fact, it's interesting because when I rewatch some of his videos, um, I think back to what I was learning and how lost I was when I watched his videos the first time around when I first got involved with the hobby, versus watching his videos now and some of the knowledge I have. So it's kind of an interesting contrast.
Yeah. Hey, you were mentioning testers. I don't know if, well, see, it's going to be blurry. I don't think my camera's going
Yeah,
to
no, I
focus.
can see it. Yeah.
19 cents? Can you see the price
Oh
tag?
gosh, yeah.
This dates back to the 70s.
Yeah, yeah. Oh gosh, you could go in and buy a kit for just a couple of bucks, I think, back then.
Oh,
And
yeah.
now paints and tools and kits. I mean, it drains your wallet.
Yeah. Of course, back in the day, I think I made like $2.30 an hour if I was when I started working, and then
Yeah,
when I
yeah,
was building models, I was mowing lawns and stuff like that to
sure.
get my
Yeah.
money. Okay, where are we at here? What is your favorite part of building?
Uh, Gee, for me, I think I enjoy the airbrushing, painting and so forth. I think I enjoy that the most. For me, I cut all my parts off of the sprue and I organize them by color. So once that's completed, I can paint everything according to their individual color. And that's the thing I think I like doing the best is using the airbrush and so forth. Yeah, that's it.
Yep.
That's what I. Yep.
Yeah, that's one of the things I admire. You are a very organized builder. Between this and your book, I think I have that too. Let's see if I got that. Stand by. You got your book of paints. Here we go. Mixing
Yeah, I've got
ratios.
my mixing ratios in there. Well, that's kind of like grandma's recipe book, and at the time that you're doing something, you think, oh, gee, I'll remember this. But, a couple of weeks or a couple of months go by and, you, at least for me, in my feeble memory, I can't remember these things. And well, I just held up this Duesenberg. Now, I did a 29 Mercedes in this same white color. And that was really handy because I knew I wanted to do this Duesenberg in that same color. And it was nice that I was able to go back to my notes and so forth and look up and see exactly what color I used, and then going and looking up the mixing ratio, and I had it right there without having to guess.
Yeah, that's nice. In fact, you inspired me. I do have a book too.
Yeah,
I haven't really wrote it. I just kind of grabbed stuff off the internet, like for Createx and MCW and Kaleido, and
yeah.
their main points. So thank you. You actually gave me that tip because you know us old guys. I don't know about you, but I forget. You know, like if I took about 3 months from building, I'd probably forget a few of those ratios, or if I'm
Oh yeah,
switching up paints, you know.
that's exactly why I write those things down. I mean, I can't remember what I had for breakfast this morning. So, and I didn't set this up. I just happened to notice it now as we were sitting here. This is a spoon. This is the Polito gunmetal. And what I do in addition to the book is I'll put the mixing ratios right on the back of the spoon. So, and then I'll put the primer on the front. So I'll prime the spoons, and I'll put the primer I used on the front, and then the actual paint and the mixing ratios on the back of the spoons. So it's kind of a, system of redundancy, I suppose.
Yeah, good idea. By the way, I love that gunmetal color. That
Yeah,
sprays
isn't
out
that
so
great?
nice. Yeah,
What's nice about this is that you can use almost any accent color, and it'll go with this.
yeah, yep.
Yeah. So, I've got a couple of builds behind me. I do that sometimes. I don't know. Maybe you do it too. Sometimes I'll come in here and I'll look at my stash, and I'll think, gee, that car would look good in gunmetal, or that car would look good in orange. I've got a Turbo Dork orange color. Turbo Dork calls their orange Fahrenheit for some reason. I don't know why.
I saw your
Uh,
video on that. Yeah.
yeah, that I can't. I don't get that, but that's what they call it. And anyway, my one of my spoon tests was the Turbo Dork Fahrenheit on a black spoon. And then I shot that with 2K clear, and I just fell in love with that. So I come back here every once in a while, and I'll put my spoon up against these different builds, and I'll say, "Yeah, I'm going to do that build in that color." So I'm a little weird that way sometimes.
A lot of times when I buy a kit, I've already I see it like as I'm looking at it on the shelf. I can picture it in a color that I think it would look good in. And
Yeah,
most of the time when I'm buying it and putting it in my cart, it's like I've already kind of got it figured out. Not always, but a lot of
yeah.
times. So I asked you what your favorite part is. Do you have a least favorite part of building?
Well, I mentioned before that I cut everything off the sprue and put them in order by color, and that cutting everything off the sprue is a little bit tedious. I don't love doing that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. My part is getting them all on like little skewers too. That's quite a chore. Get everything, finding out how to hold it for painting and whatnot.
Yeah, yeah. And my eyes are not great anymore, so sometimes I try to separate the pieces, and where I can, I try to leave the number on there so I can identify it later. But there are some kits, some AMT kits in particular, um, where they don't have the number attached to the part, and then you have to look and figure out where the part goes so you know what color to make it.
Yeah,
So that gets a little tedious sometimes.
for sure, for sure.
Yeah.
Um, I was, we're going to talk about the YouTube content creators a little bit and kind of spawn our audience to kind of contribute into that too. But I thought I'd do a couple things first. Like, I think we ought to play that game that I started on this show, and that is a trivia to name that make, model, and year car. So we'll break away for just a second there. So, folks, make, model, and year of this car. Tell me what you think. But then we're going to get into discussion about the YouTube creators, and there's so many different little variations of what each creator does. So I thought that would be a fun topic, and you and I can kind of cover some of the talking points. 66 Chevelle. Nope. Yes, actually, I'm sorry, but
That's kind of what I was thinking, that it
Malibu.
was a
The
Chevelle.
Malibu. Yeah, it's a Chevelle, but it's a Chevelle Malibu. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not the
Didn't know the
SS.
year, but I thought it was a Chevelle. Yeah.
Okay. Good one. I like throwing that in once in a while here. So, did you want to? I have like some of your builds here. Did you want to say anything about these? If there's anything in particular, or I'll just kind of scan through them and stop
Well, I
me if
think
you want
that's
to have
the
a
Del
comment.
Rey. Yeah, I think that's the Del Rey that I actually had sent to you. And if my memory is correct, I think I did that as part of a group build, but I don't remember what group build I did it for.
Okay, yeah, there's mine. That's the one you sent
Yeah.
me. But yeah, that was cool. I like the way you did the wheels up on that one, and that looks like it's that blue clear, maybe, huh?
Yeah, you know what? That was right over the chrome with a clear blue, a Tamiya clear blue, and I shot it right on the chrome. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty. That's what I thought it was. Okay, so what you got there? Looks like
That's
is that a
a
Ford?
48 Ford, and that was done in Tamiya pure orange. And I was kind of happy with the way that one came out.
Yeah, it's pretty. I like this one. I love good weathering jobs. You did an outstanding job on that one.
Well, that one actually is the logo for Papa's Model Workshop. And actually, I have that model sitting right in front of me right now. And that was a 37 Ford pickup, I think. Um, and that was actually my very first time weathering. And I just used the Tamiya weathering kit for that. And I want to go back and try to be a little bit more extensive with the weathering or patina. But yeah, that came out pretty good, I think.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Oh,
There you
that's a
go.
Tamiya.
That's different.
Yeah, that's my Tamiya kit. Like I mentioned before, I don't do too many modern sporty cars like that, but I did that one, and yeah, that one came out rather nice. As a matter of fact, I think that was, if my memory is correct, I think that was the first time I ever did candy. That's silver based, and that's the Tamiya X19, I think, smoke color.
Oh, okay.
Shot over that. Yeah.
Nice build.
Oh, that's my 69 Camaro, and that was my very first time trying a faded paint job, which I was really very nervous about doing. That was silver, twilight purple, and oh gee, what was Rally Sport blue, I think. Those were all Kaleido acrylics on that car. And it came out okay.
Yeah, yeah, I like that. So you just dusted that lighter color on with the airbrush after? Is that how you got that the faded look, the lighter fade?
Well, what I did was I started with the lightest color first, which was the silver, and the silver went down the middle, and then my next color was the purple, and I started out on the edge and worked my way towards the silver, and as I got closer to the silver, I just uh, eased off of the trigger on the airbrush, so it would just kind of fade into the silver a little bit, and did the
I
same
see.
thing with the yeah. So it
Okay.
kind of worked out. It was the first time I ever tried it, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks good. And there's that
That's my
Duesenberg.
29 Mercedes. Yeah,
Or that's the Mercedes. Okay. Yeah.
yeah, that's a 29 Mercedes, and that's the one that I was referring to earlier, where I wanted to look up and cross-reference the white color that I used on the Duesenberg that I'm working on right now. And that's probably one of my favorite builds to look at now that it's done. But in the process of working on it, it drove me up the wall, that car. That was a Lindbergh kit, and it fought me every step of the way.
Some of them do, but when you're all said and done, they do look good. That's where
Oh,
persistence
that
pays off.
yeah, boy, that kit, I'm telling you, that kit just about jumped up on the workbench and put its dukes up to fight me.
Okay, what I got on the screen here was just a snippet of one of your new basic, your shorty videos. Uh, are they called shorty videos, or you named them
Oh, that's the
quick tips?
Chrysler. Yeah, what do I call that? I just started that. Oh, Papa's Quick Hits.
Yeah, I like that. That's a nice little thing for a real quick little topic.
Well,
It's a nice niche.
I've been trying to shorten some of my videos because I'll tell you the truth. I think I've mentioned this to you before. I don't do a whole lot of preparation. A lot of times I just flip the camera on and I just start rambling off the top of my head sometimes. And sometimes the time just goes 30, 40, 45 minutes. So I was trying to cut down the duration of some of my rambling.
Speaking of which, would you believe we're just a couple minutes shy of an hour already?
Is that right? Well,
My
I'm also
goodness.
watching my battery here, and my battery's running. I'm hoping I don't run out of battery here.
Uh-oh. Okay. What else we got here? Yeah, so here's one of your quick hits where you're talking about stripping. I mean, those are very helpful quick little tidbits for people. I think the
Oh, that was the
viewers are going to enjoy
chrome.
that.
Yeah, that was removing the chrome.
For the chrome removal. Okay, yeah.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
the Clorox took it off in under 5 minutes.
Yeah, I haven't tried that. Now, it's smelly, though, right?
Um, yeah, there's an odor, but I don't recall it being really overly obnoxious with the odor. You know, you know what a dunderhead I am. I actually have a respirator in the workshop, and I have it hanging off of a little post next to the paint booth. And every once in a while, I can tell the fumes are getting inside the respirator. So if I ever put that thing on, it's not going to help me a whole lot if it's filled up with junk.
Right. And speaking of it, you just used the term, and I have a slide up now. Papa is a dunderhead.
Yeah, believe me, Papa's a dunderhead a lot of times.
Actually, I've never heard that term. I've never heard it. My wife did, but she's from Jersey, so maybe it's an East thing.
It's just something I kind of made up a while ago, and I don't know how I came up with that, but yeah, no, believe me, I'm capable of it. In fact, I'll tell you, if you've got a second, I'll show you something. What a dunderhead I was. This happened about an hour ago.
Sure.
Can you see this? This little area here where I've got the headlights attached to this little spindle up here. Okay, and it attaches in between these two front fenders. Okay, and the attachment point up here, it's very tiny, and to try to get that in there and then get it level, okay, I mean, it'll drive you up the wall. So I finally managed to get it in there. It was perfect. It was level. And then you know what? I glued my finger to it, which meant that I had to take my perfectly level spindle out of there because I glued my finger to it. So yes, I'm a dunderhead.
Well, I mean, that's an honesty that I appreciate, though. And I try to do that too, because why hide our mistakes? In fact, that's part of the topic when we talk about our content creators coming up here. Is watching people make mistakes, because we learn from that too. I mean, you're sharing it. Plus, I think if you're a really good builder, I mean, I'm not that good of a builder yet. I'm coming along.
No, neither am I. Neither am I.
I mean, they look respectable, but I'm a far cry to like the builds I was showing you from Kevin, or if you go to a show, and I know you went to a show last year, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, at a show, a judge show, they come around with a little flashlight and a magnifying glass.
Oh yeah,
and yeah, so they'll pick up everything.
Yeah, those things humble you. But I appreciate that you addressed the dunderhead issue, and I think it helps people because they're trying to follow you, they're trying to follow me and other content creators, and if we look like we're perfect, we're giving a fake persona. Even an expert builder is going to make mistakes. Even the real experts out there. So don't put on a fake persona that everything you do is golden and that it goes together smooth, because that's not true. And I think sharing mistakes helps. Yeah.
I make my share of mistakes, and some of them are real dunderhead moves, like gluing my finger to my part. But I always feel that, if I do something that's, dumb, flat out dumb, I'm not afraid to admit it and show that to people. So they're mindful of not doing the same thing. So I hope that sometimes my pointing out my mistakes is helpful to others if they're mindful of it.
Absolutely. Well, I'll tell you what do you think we bring the audience in and we start talking a little bit about the talking points of the content creators that I'd kind of
Yeah,
thought would
that
be
sounds
interesting?
good. Yeah,
Okay,
because
so
I'm running really down my battery here.
good
So,
luck. Wish I could go down there and plug in a cord for you.
well,
Okay.
I actually brought down a cord, but I'll have to undo my mic to plug it in. So I don't know. I'll see how low the battery gets, and then I'll have to make a
If
decision.
you if you get in that position, just let me know and I'll carry it for a minute or two while you get yourself fixed.
All right.
So, anyways, for you and myself, and I want the audience to give me your answers too. From all the channels out there and all the content creators, is there something that you learned from watching YouTube, a technique or something that a YouTube creator did that took your builds to a whole new level by learning it?
Oh yeah, a lot. I mean, I mentioned Don Yost earlier, and you know, at that point, I was a blank slate at that point, so I was like a sponge, just trying to absorb everything that he was teaching on his channel. And I mentioned Barbatos Rex. I learned a lot with regard to using the airbrush and different paints and mixing ratios and so forth. And that's what gave me the idea of writing these things down in a book rather than watching and trying to remember it all. There's a terrific channel, and I've mentioned this to some of my viewers on my channel. It's called A4 Garage. And boy, I watched this guy, and he is just a model engineer, is what I call him. The stuff that he does is amazing. But one of the more prominent things that I really learned and have employed with some of my builds is he would take something called an insect pin. And it looks like a sewing straight pin, really. And, if you are having trouble with a particular part sticking, we've all had our glue bombs. And what you do with this insect pin is you drill a tiny little hole with your pin vise, you insert the pin, and then you drill a corresponding hole as to, for where the part is going to go. I hope I'm explaining all this correctly. And then you can put your part down where it belongs with a little bit of glue, but that insect pin will hold it. Whereas before, no matter how much glue you're putting on, it just doesn't want to stick sometimes.
Yeah, pinning is is a must
Yeah,
for a lot of
yeah.
stuff.
I did
Okay.
that in that 29 Mercedes that you showed before, the headlight in the front on the passenger side. That thing just did not want to stick for anything, and that's what I eventually did on that 29 Mercedes. I pinned it, and it's there now, so it hasn't moved.
Okay. A4 Garage. I'm gonna have to check that out.
Yeah,
Kevin's seen
it's
it. He's saying it's amazing. So
yeah. He really is. As a matter of fact, it was A4 Garage where I learned to use the Clorox trick for the chrome.
oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
So I can't take credit for a lot of the things that I do. I steal it or learn it from other things that I watch.
And then this one we were just discussing between ourselves here, and this is for the audience too. Does watching a creator share his mistakes and his workarounds, does that give you the confidence to overcome issues with your own builds? Because it's a thought process of how to overcome. And
Yeah.
I guess I'm asking, like, if there's a crossover, like if you've seen enough of this where a different kind of a problem arose, but your thinking evolved on how to get yourself out of a mess. What do you think of
Oh, yeah.
that?
Yeah. No, I definitely think that's true. Where I have watched others make mistakes, and you make a mental note of that, which is precisely the reason why I offer my mistakes. And as a matter of fact, I just we were talking about Papa's Quick Hits. I've got a video that I made just within the last few days, but I haven't uploaded it yet. And in that video, I got 3 drops of glue on the roof of this Duesenberg. And so I showed how I went about getting those drops of glue out of there and repainting it. And now the roof of that Duesenberg, you would never know. As a matter of fact, I'll tell you something. I just thought of this now. I just thought sitting here. This is an old cab to a pickup truck. And right here, oh, this was something I did a while ago, maybe 6 or 8 months ago, but I showed this cab and I intentionally scratched it right here. And it was a pretty deep scratch. And I showed how you can go about repairing that. And this is where it was. And you never know that scratch was there, right there.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think showing mistakes and so forth is absolutely beneficial. Yeah.
I'm reading some of the comments go by as we're talking too, and I'm putting a few of them up screen there. So I'm not acknowledging folks directly, but if I'm putting it on screen, that means that I appreciated your comment and I think it was worth putting up here to share with the rest of us. So
Yeah. Well, I'm just reading this one here. It says, make mistakes and learn, then don't do it again. Just do better. Well, there's wisdom in that, I suppose, but you have to learn how to do better.
all
And
right,
that's what I try to share is how to do it better. So,
great. Let's see here. I had something else that I thought. That I thought. I mean, I have several of them, so I guess we'll just keep going in order.
excuse me.
So here's a question. I'll put it on screen here. Kind of doing a Jeopardy style. I'll put the question up there, but then I'll kind of talk about the talking point a little bit. Is which style of YouTube channel suits you best? You got your kit reviews, you got your tutorials, you got your stash ads, you got your community blogging and shout outs. And when a community blogging, I'd kind of say like Jason at Blue Ox kind of is in the blogging category where, he talks about the community events, he promotes the community, he does a lot of group build talks and shows his wares and progress of those things. So I think he's a good, what I mean by blogging. And then you got your shout out channels, which I think are great because they expose you to other channels, like you just mentioned A4. So if you watch some of these guys that do shout outs to other channels, I've discovered a lot of channels only because somebody was doing a shout out. And I'm like, I never heard of
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Let me check.
Yeah.
And then what do we got? We got podcasts. Okay, so all kinds of different podcasts. You got mine, which is, I'm trying to be a little bit different. But you got your panels, and this is sort of a panel. But you also got your builds and just BS sessions. I think they all come valuable. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you have one that suits you best?
I think it really depends on what I'm in the mood for on a given night, to tell you the truth. I think I probably tune into YouTube and watch modeling programs just about every night. Other than if there's an Islander game on, I'm an Islanders fan. But even before or after, a game, I'll tune into YouTube. I'm not a big TV person. I don't really watch any regular television programs at all. So I watch YouTube stuff, and it depends on what I'm in the mood for, I think. I can't say that I gravitate towards any one thing. Depends on how I am that night.
Gotcha. Yeah. And John had a question. He likes everything but podcasts. Well, John, isn't this sort of a podcast?
Watching the wrong thing tonight.
Of course, I call it a live stream. So does that get me off the hook?
There you go. That's the loophole.
Yeah. Okay. Kenny at B Models. Ken, who's the gym channel you're all referring to? I'm not sure. Gym channel. If you're talking about Jim Green here, this is Papa's Model Workshop. And then I was talking about Jason at Blue Ox's channel where he does like a blog. I'm not sure what gym channel you were referring to. So maybe you can ask that in a different way and I'll try to answer that for you. Uh, okay, I had another one that I thought was kind of interesting. And this is for not only you, Jim, but everybody else. Uh, do you feel that you could trust a content creator's product reviews as fair and unbiased in deciding whether you're going to purchase something or not? For example, I do some product reviews. Just want to know if everybody feels that that's a fair and unbiased thing, and does it persuade you either way?
I think so because I think that content creators work hard to build an audience, and in building an audience, there's a certain level of trust in their uh, what they present and so forth. And I don't think, at least from my perspective, you wouldn't want to ruin that reputation by endorsing something that doesn't work very well. Um,
Good
and
point.
the one that comes to mind right off the top of my head is a channel, Matt's Models and More, or Matt's. Gee, I'm getting brain.
I think you said it right. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting brain freeze. So Matt, if you're watching, I apologize for butchering your name. But two things with him. Number one, he recently showed a rotary tool called a Kater rotary tool, and he was really very high on it. And I went and I bought it right away after I saw that, and I think it's terrific. Now, the second thing is he reviewed a product, and I'm sorry, I don't remember what the product was, but he didn't like it, and he said so on his channel. So that, in my opinion, really builds his credibility and so forth. So yeah, I think I believe what content creators, put out.
Okay, I agree. And especially, I agree with Matt. Your comments about Matt's channel. And boy, talk about a guy blowing up. He started about the same time I did, just in 2025, and he's like he's on his way to 10,000 subscribers.
Oh yeah, he's got a good channel. Yeah,
Very polished show and a lot of good information, Matt. So
yeah.
keep up the good work. And I do. And by the way, Kevin, I got a comment up here. Kevin Smith, watching a commercial before the video is bad enough, but now people are advertising the video. Kevin, I wouldn't call what I'm doing or the ones that I'm talking about as a commercial. To me, they're product reviews. They're talking about something in the modeling environment, and they're giving you, you may have heard of it or something, and they have tested it and they've used it and they're demonstrating it. So I think that's a little different than a commercial, because they're kind of helping you decide whether you might want to buy something or not. That's the way I look at it. But then again, I got to be careful the way I walk too. Like when I boast about the Kaleido paints, I'm sponsored by them. But I will be honest about it. But I try to show the results too, because I think that speaks volumes. I'm not just saying this is the best stuff out there. I try to get real good lighting and close-ups of the demonstration of the paint job on the car and let you decide for yourself. So. Okay, so everybody else feel that you can trust your reviews? It looks like pretty much yes. Some people are saying no. Some people say trust no one. That's a safe thing too.
That's what I tell my wife. Is I don't trust anybody.
Alrighty. Here's an interesting one, because you just joined or visited one. So, to you and folks, do you see YouTube model building channels as replacing traditional clubs, or is it just filling a void? And Jim, you mentioned that you were invited to a club last night. Could you tell us the club name and a little bit about your experience of that?
Yeah, it's the Long Island Auto Replica Society Club. They're right here on Long Island, obviously. And last night was my first meeting. I went to the first meeting actually in November, and there was a little bit of a snafu. It was held at a town of Brookhaven recreation building, and the gentleman who was supposed to come down with the key to the building didn't come, and we were all in the parking lot. So So, but and even though that was the case, I got to tell you, I spoke with a lot of people, and I enjoyed myself. We had a little impromptu gathering in the parking lot that night. It's once a month the meetings, and as things fell last month in December, I had tickets to a concert that night, so I missed the December meeting. So last night was actually my very first actual meeting where we got into the building and had a formal meeting, and it was terrific. Met a lot of great people, and as a matter of fact, I felt a little bit bad at the end of the night. I had one young gentleman who came over and he introduced himself to me, and I'm going to guess he was about 11 or 12 years old, and I thought that was great that he had the gumption to come up and introduce himself and so forth. And he asked me to come over and take a look at a build, and I said, "Yeah, I'm going to come over and take a look at it." And I got involved talking to somebody else, and I tried to go find him, and I think he had left the building, and I don't want him to think I forgot him. I hope he didn't think I blew him off. I did try to find him. So I think his name was Tim. I think that's what his name was. So Tim, if you're watching, I would love to see your model in the meeting next month. So, but to get back to the question that you posed about model clubs replacing or video replacing model clubs, I don't know. I think it's almost apples and oranges, in my opinion, anyway. There's watching things on screen, but there's a difference when you can go and interact with people face to face and look at something that they built, and you can pick it up and look at it and they show it to you. So I think there's advantages to both. I wouldn't say one cancels out the other, in my opinion.
Okay. I've never attended one. See, unfortunately, I'm in small town USA. I lived in Phoenix for a long time near Lucas E. and his group, but at that time I wasn't building. So now I'm in small town Ohio, and there are no clubs here. In fact, there's one hobby shop, been around for like 75 years, maybe 65 years, and it's just a shadow of its former self. And then there's Hobby Lobby. So there's no place right here to do any clubbing, any collaboration, or talk to other builders unless you go to a local show, which they do have occasionally close by. So YouTube is it for me. I would love to attend this show. For me, it's Akron and Sharon, PA. Each one's about 45 minutes away. It's not like it's impossible for me to get to. But yeah, I would agree. And the comments seem to be saying that that they don't feel that it's replacing the clubs, probably enhancing it. So,
yeah, I think that's a good word. It's an enhancement. Yeah.
What else? What other talking point did I have?
Go look at my battery here.
How you doing? What's it say?
I'm down to 19%.
Oh, okay. Yeah, when you get to 10, you might want to fix it. Okay, what else did I have? Yeah, here's an interesting one. And I don't mean to offend anybody, and I'm certainly not going to name any names whatsoever, but not everybody is polished. In fact, I think I'm mediocre when it comes to it. I'm trying to get to be a better speaker, and I luckily have a thing called an editing software where I can fix up my stuff and make it look a little bit better on my presentation. But the question is, how tolerant are you watching somebody that just has like a real low production quality or can't really speak well, but yet his work is outstanding? Because there are people that build really, really, really well, but they just lack a little bit on their presentation. So what do you think?
I've had some of my viewers who have asked me about presentation, because they want to start their own channel. And my personal opinion is always the same. Don't try to act, I don't know, but be yourself is basically what I tell people. Just pretend that you're talking to a person when you're looking at the camera. and don't be mindful of it being a camera. I think if you can just relax, speak to the camera in the way you would speak to somebody who was sitting on the other side of the table, and that's really the best piece of advice I can offer. I mean, I'm not a big channel, so who am I to give advice? But if the question comes to me, that's basically what I say to people: is just relax and be yourself.
Yeah, that helps too. And I tell you, I think I've gotten better, but when I go back and watch my very first or second or even third video, I'm like, oh boy, I should take that off the air
Yeah.
because I just felt like I was so stiff and so nervous and camera fright and all that stuff.
I won't even look at my first few videos. They're terrible.
Yeah. But yeah, once I learned to relax and that I'm talking with somebody instead of trying to talk at the camera, because talking at the camera is
Yeah.
where I get hung up. But if I'm talking like I'm talking to a friend, it works a lot better for me. So
Well, I think I'm going to have to do something here because I'm getting all kinds of messages flashing at me about my battery.
yeah,
So,
go
uh,
ahead and fix that, and I'll carry for a little bit here, and
yeah, I'm going to have to
I'll
take the
talk to the
microphone
audience.
off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
go ahead, take care of it. I'll
Okay.
take you off screen and wave at
Okay.
me once you're back on, and I'll bring it back on the screen.
Okay. Hang on.
Okay. Okay. Battery. Luckily, I'm on my desktop here, so that shouldn't happen to me. It did happen on my live stream the other night, though. I was building and talking to people, and I kept hearing this beep, and then I looked up at the screen, and it said you got less than 10%, so I had to abruptly cut off. So while we're waiting for Jim to get his stuff plugged in and going, let's see if I can engage with you guys a little bit. Anything you want to ask or bring up, I'm happy to talk about. It doesn't have to be my talking points. How many of you have jumped in strictly from Papa's channel? Are you plugged in, Jim?
Yeah, I'm back online.
Oh, good deal.
The
Good deal.
the audio is probably going to be a little bit tinny. I have a wireless mic here, and it interfaces with this thing here in the bottom of the phone. But of course, I had to pull this out. Hey, sweetheart, how are you? Not you, Ken. You're not sweetheart. My daughter-in-law just came down. She's waving at me. Come on,
Yeah.
say hello. You can say hello.
Yeah. We're getting to be friends, but yeah, that would be a little too personal.
Yeah, this is my daughter-in-law, Jackie.
Hi, Jackie. How you doing? Nice to meet you.
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
Usually
good,
I've got the whole gang down here on Saturdays. I've got grandchildren down here. I've got dogs down here. And it's amazing how on Saturdays, the whole world hangs out down here.
Your charger?
Yeah, no, I pulled this out. So I'm not on the microphone, so I'm probably coming across a little tinny.
All right, but you're okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. Is that why you came down?
Yeah.
I'm okay. Thanks, sweetheart. Okay.
Well,
Sorry, Ken.
it's cool that you got the family joining in on you, and I know that you have a place for the grandkids to play and draw down there. And somebody
Yeah.
earlier, we were talking, and I didn't want to interrupt you, but I had their comment on the screen, and they said, Papa is so tolerant when he explains about one of the grandkids destroying one of his models. And it's true. You don't go nuts or anything. I mean, maybe you did off camera. I don't know, but you
No,
take it
I
in
never
stride.
get upset with them if they get into something, primarily because in the end, it's my fault for leaving it within their grasping distance, for them to grab. But I'll tell you a funny story if you have 1 second.
Sure.
I have certain builds that sometimes come out maybe a little bit better than another one. And for those that maybe come out a little bit better and I like it enough, I will kind of designate that as a show car to bring to a show. And one of those cars is a 71 CUDA. I did that in a lime green color and it came out really nice. As a matter of fact, it was selected to be photographed at one of the shows. I don't remember which show. So Karen knows that that's a show car. Okay. And my one grandson, his name is Liam, and at the time I think he was
See
three
you,
or four.
Fred. Didn't mean to interrupt. Fred saying goodbye. Good.
And Liam was walking through the kitchen with that CUDA. And Karen looks and says, Liam, where did you get that? Because she knew I would not have given him that car. So Liam, okay, he puts his hand on his hip and he looks at her and goes, Papa gave it to me. And she knew that that wasn't the case. So, but look, they get into things sometimes, and I don't know if you watch Grandpa Mark's Hobbies at all,
Oh
but one of
yeah.
the great channel, by the way, and the administrator of his Facebook page is a gentleman by the name of Lennis Schultz, and he just started a group build, and the group build was build it again. So in other words, it's a build that you've done previously. So, build it again and, I guess do it a different way or do it better. So I responded to him and I said, boy, that's great for me because I've got so many builds that are in pieces because the grandchildren got into it. So that'll be a great group build for me.
Yeah. See, I see some comments. People are seeing my model kits behind me. So Chet, as far as building my Mopars, actually, see that car hauler above me on the shelf behind me here? I'm kind of pointing up at it there. If you look at that shelf, so that carries 6 cars back there. So I have bought some Mopars. I've got 3 Roadrunners and I got 3 Cudas, 70s and 71. So I'm going to pretend it's like a mid-year change out there, introducing the new cars, but they're still delivering the old cars. And I'm going to build those basically as curbsides, and I'm going to put windows in them because I got little window stickers like the new cars had back in the day. Well, they still have. And so I'm going to build a special set of cars for just the car hauler, and they're going to have new car stickers on them and stuff. So that's what the Mopars are. But actually, and Jim and I think are going to be now attending it. I'm planning on going to NNL East. So what I'm going to do now is right now that truck is red, white, and blue, and NNL East is going to have a red, white, and blue table for the America's birthday, 250th birthday. So I think what I'm going to do now, in fact, I'm going to a swap meet tomorrow with Joe at Joe's Rush Shop, and I'm going to try to pick up 6 models, and I'm going to do red, white, blue, all 6 cars to enter into the red, white, and blue category. So Jim, I'm hoping to see you at that show.
Yeah, I want to meet you too. I know that you and I have spoke about getting together at that show. So, what have we got? About 3 months. As a matter of fact, I've got hold on a second. I've got it right here. I think. Yeah, here it is.
There you
Is
go.
that coming through okay?
Yes.
April 25th. Is that 25th? Yeah, April 25th. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, in fact, I just sat down the other day and started to pull up the shows because that stuff sneaks up on me. I forget.
yeah.
Like even Joe asked me about the swap meet. Now I knew last fall about the swap meet, but 2 days ago he's like, "Are you going to the swap meet?" And it's like I totally forgot about it. Luckily, I'm
Yeah.
available, so we're gonna go. Yeah, the shows are a lot of fun. So I'm definitely going to do that one. I'm going to do a little bit of traveling. It's a business expense, right? Now that we're
There
running
you
3
go.
businesses.
There you go. You
And
got to be
Atlanta,
creative with these things.
Atlanta's a must. I want to do Atlanta. Fred just
I
left
want to do
us.
that too.
Fred Henry works or is part of the Acme Club down there. I do need to find out exactly what the information is on 2026. I haven't found it yet, but I'll have to catch Fred on that. They have like a hotel, I guess, that sponsors that one. A lot of people join that or go there, and they have like a meet and greet and stuff, and that would be so much fun.
Yeah, yeah. Well, my understanding, and I don't know this for sure, but I've heard through the grapevine that most of that hotel is already booked up.
Yeah, I think what I'm going to do is surely the entire city of Atlanta is not going to be booked. So
Yeah,
I think I'm going to find something that's 15, 20-minute circle from there, and I'll book something. And, 15, 20 minutes isn't that hard for me to drive to the meet and greets and hang out, go to dinner,
yeah, that's a good
whatever
idea.
they're going to do.
I might have to do the same thing because I'm trying to make plans to attend that as well. So that's a good idea. Maybe staying at a hotel within a few minutes and then going out to the meet and greet. That's a great idea, as a matter of fact.
Great. And who do I see here? Somebody was commenting about Atlanta. Jamie Gee, I will be at the Atlanta show. Okay, so looking forward to meeting you. That one I think I'm going to go down. That's probably the longest drive for me. It's probably 15 hours or so. So I'll probably make a mini vacation and spend a whole week in that area. And hopefully take the motorcycle down there. Well, still the problem there is if I take my bike, I can only bring one or two kids with me. So if I bring my car, I can bring more.
I know
Yeah.
Jason up at the Blue Ox said that he's going to drive, and he's way up in New Hampshire, so that's going to be, quite a long drive. Now I'm on Long Island, but I think I'm going to cheat and I'm going to fly.
And Matt from Matt's Bottle and More has joined. Matt, we were just talking about you a little while ago. Papa was complimenting you because we were talking about content creators and do you trust when they do product reviews? And he had brought up your channel about how fair he thinks you are when you do a review, even if somebody sent you the product to test or whatever. And I agree. I've seen some of them myself. So welcome to the channel. Appreciate you watching and, keep up the good work. I was also talking about how you and I started at just about the same time with our channels, and you're blowing up, buddy. You're doing it right. So, anyways, where else? Did I have any more banner comments here for my talking points? Let's see. Let's see what else I had. Okay, so this one was, do you enjoy watching live streams of one or more people just building and engaging the viewers? And that's kind of what I was doing this last week. And I couldn't believe how that worked out. I had just turned on my camera and I had like 30, 40 people in the room just watching me sand and stuff. And we were just talking. And for me personally, I was so much more relaxed because I didn't feel I had a show to produce. I felt like I could just totally be myself. I'm trying to be myself now too, but I have a lot on my plate here trying to make it look like I know what I'm doing. But on just my live stream of building, it's a lot more fun because it's just turn the camera on and go. But what do you guys prefer? Do you prefer like just joining in and watching the people build and banter with them? Or do you like these shows where there's interviews and a little bit of a topic going on? Just curious on how you all feel on that. Yep, Matt's got some fans on here. Comments are coming through. So anyways, we have now hit 90 minutes, and I have been trying to hold my... I know they did.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you're having fun.
Yeah, I'm enjoying this. I really am.
Me too. I mean, it's just like, you and I did the same thing that Craig Wood and I did the week before. Folks, because when I bring somebody on as a guest, we do a little practice session just to make sure that everybody's able to hook up and stuff. And Jim and I started conversing back and forth, and I could have hit the live button right then and there because we were doing a show.
Yeah.
and
yeah.
then I finally said, hey, we better stop because if we talk about it all now, we may not, be so good on Friday night. So, but yeah, it is so much fun. I enjoy this. I was really nervous about even trying to take on this, but I am having a good time, and I'm hoping you guys are enjoying it. I'm trying to get a little bit better each time, but it's my guests that are saving me. And this time, Jim, thank you.
Well, thank you for putting up with me. I appreciate the invite. I really do.
Wow, I'm glad you joined me. And again, I appreciate you talking up my channel, so it is my turn to pay back the favor. Folks, if you have not seen Papa's channel, there's a link in my description. Go over there, slam the like button on his videos, hit subscribe, and help this guy get up there. So, the higher your viewers and your watch time hours and everything, the algorithm from YouTube improves and you get better and better and more exposure, and that's just it gives you the tools to motivate you to go on and do a better job. So check out Jim at Papa's Model Workshop. And is that your model workshop behind you?
This is actually where I keep my stack. The workshop, I'm actually sitting at a desk which is just outside of the workshop. So if I get up from here, you just kind of go around a corner and you're in the workshop. So
Right.
I ran out of room in the workshop to put all of these models. So I'm
And,
just
and I'm teasing you because your tagline is "I'm Papa and this is my workshop."
yeah. I
And I
guess
remember
it
you saying
depends.
somebody was critical of you doing that. I remember, like, would you quit saying that? Like, come on.
Oh, yes, I do. I think I remember somebody saying that. Yeah. But I think when you get involved in putting yourself out there publicly, to a certain extent, you have to expect that, a couple of people may not like what you're doing or saying. So just the
Yeah,
way it is.
I get
I
it,
know
but
that a few people have taken me to task because I call Ravel, I call it Revel. And that's just the way I have always pronounced it. I'm trying not to say revel. I'm getting better with it, but I have had people who have written in and said that that annoys them. So,
yeah, I have that problem with Tamiya.
yeah.
I was pronouncing it Tamaya for the longest time, and I don't. No, I've never been to Japan. I've never heard anybody else pronounce it, so I was calling it Tamaya. But when people watch my earlier videos from this year, and you forget, like when you do a video, and it's been months later, and then somebody makes a comment on there, sometimes you have to go back and like look back to see what they're commenting about because it's not
Yeah.
fresh on your
Yeah.
mind. But I'll get somebody who types it out. It's Tamiya.
Yeah.
It just really bothers people.
Well, that happens to me sometimes. A lot of my routine is, even though I'm really kind of mostly retired, I still get up at 6 a.m. and I can't wait to get down to my workshop every single morning. But my routine is I sit up in the den and I check my messages first thing in the morning. And sometimes it's funny some of the things that people will bring up, and I'll look at it and I'll go, gee, I don't remember what he's referring to. And I have to go and look it up and see.
Yeah. And we got a guy here. Oh boy, I can't remember your name. I know you told me the other day. Is it AJ? But he said he met you at the Liars Club. Great guy. And by the way, that's the
Oh,
acronym of this
I
club that he
appreciate that.
visited. The club that Jim visited, the acronym is Liars. So it's
Yeah,
the Liars Club. So when you
that's
tell your
right.
wife, you're going to the Liars Club.
Yeah.
I think
Well,
that's
that's
a
why
funny name.
a lot of times I'll specify and I'll say what it is. It's the Long Island Auto Replica Society, and that's what Liars stands for. But I'll make that distinction so people don't think that we're a bunch of guys huddled in a corner telling lies.
Yeah, but we do.
Yeah,
We
well,
we do.
that that
Little
that
white
that
lies.
happens occasionally.
Yeah, just a little white lies. Like I caught a fish this big. uh, anyways, yeah, we should wrap it up. Great show. I'm so glad you joined me. I think you made this show one for the books, Jim. So
Oh
thank you
well,
very much.
thank you for inviting me. I enjoyed it very much.
Great. And to all the followers out there, I've been kind of watching on my iPad to the side here, watching the room count. And we've been hovering between 70 and 80 people throughout the show consistently. So I think we're doing pretty good there, Jim. So thank you so much. And thank you, all the fans. I think it's time to sign out until next week. And next Friday night at 7 o'clock, it will be Bryce from Model Makers Workshop will be my guest. So tune in then. And I might sneak in another one or two lives of my Ford build over here. So, those will just pop up if I decide to do it. So thank you, everybody, and have a wonderful evening.
Thanks, Ken.
You're welcome. Jim, that was good, buddy.
Oh, thank you, Ken.